We lost some other important islands and crop fields in the areas of Livu, the Situngu, the Zoti Islands, and alike. And these, some places were crop fields for the people of Zambezi, and some are graveyards for the people of Zambezi. So you can see how much it pains if you lose such an important land parcel. That was from outside structures. At the same time, internally, Zambezi, the then Caprivi, begins to lose some land parcels, very important. A land parcel which is very critical, the Babata National Park, the Zeni Caprivi Game Reserve. I want to indicate to the Commission that this area is protected by law. In terms of the saying a word, it is not sitting well with us. Because others can break the law, left, right, and center, and no one cares. But when others break the law takes its course. I just want to indicate this, because others have spoken much about it. The bottom line is Babata National Park is a park and is governed as such. The Kwe or the San community in Babata, who had been there for decades, they were never allowed to own a piece of land in terms of the Communal Land Reform Act. They are not allowed to own land. They are not allowed to practice agriculture in terms of livestock and bigger farms cropping. But there are new counterparts who just came in recently. They are doing vice versa. And the law is not active. I said I would try to be very brief. There are important programs and tools that are put in place from the Zambezi side to respect the Babata National Park. If you make reference to the Integrated Land Use Plan of Zambezi 2014, it respects Babata National Park as a park, and it does not allow industrial activities to take place in that park. It is only a community that is conscious to coexistence of human and wildlife is compatible in terms of living together with wildlife and do sustainable natural resource management in that area can survive in a park. And there's none community other than the San community, which has proven that for decades. This is one tool that we need to respect. And I believe all people from Zambezi are respecting that. I haven't seen any from this region, especially from the eastern part of the then Caprivi, who moved in animals into the national park. If there's one, let me be informed. But immediately when Kavango East took its boundaries extended to where it is now, we have seen the disrespect of the Babata National Park. There's another important program that is taking place in Babata, the CBM-RN program, which is Community-Based Natural Resource Management, which gives powers to the San community under the Karamachani Association to manage wildlife and other natural resource management. Activities in that national park. This program covers the entire Babata. And I believe there's some kind of disturbance in terms of the compatibility of the program and what is happening today. I wanted to say this because it is important and critical that the Commission has to understand that there are activities or programs that do not require some disturbances. I believe the law will take its course in terms of removing those who are illegally occupying the park. There was a question here yesterday that gave me a sleepless night, which was asked to say, who carries Caprivi as his surname? That question, for me, it was not relevant for this interaction or discussion. Because I am a Mufwe, Caprivian, Namibian, African. And this is my identity. Nothing else, nothing less. That is my proper identity. And a Herero is a Herero Namibian African. It's their identity. But if I'm asked here to say, what will kill you if you cannot be called a Caprivian? It is a loss of my identity. Whatever is associated with the name of Caprivi, I don't care. I am a Caprivian, proud Caprivian, Namibian, African. And this should not be disconnected from me, because that puts me in a situation where I find to have a second father. Because if my father is Rubanga and my mom get married to another man, and my mom wants me to register in that new father's name, it will not sit well with me. So, when the Caprivi have changed to Zambezi, the history stands. We are Caprivians. We are just Caprivians. It's only that there are those who want to use the word Caprivian or Caprivi in a different agenda, which I'm not for. I'm not for that agenda. I'm just a proud Caprivian from history, as it stands. I can't be called a Zambezian. It doesn't really carry weight for me. All right, there's one other thing that I wanted to give you an example. You know, when we talk of boundaries of this region, other people feel we are not patriotic. That is not the case. I want to give you a reference of the commotion that came in the Ukwangali district when the Kwanyamas were grazing there, and what the Kwangalis did. You remember, all of you, isn't it? That was not well. That was not well, because others were given permission to graze there, others were there illegal. Of course, the law has to take its course. But if this happens in Zambezi, why should we be quiet? Why should we be quiet? We are all Namibians. There's something that is strange in me also. If you look at the definition of boundaries in the Communal Land Reform Act, just Google it and see. All regions are properly defined. But when it comes to Zambezi, they give us a coordinate, E23E 1800. What is that? Why is it failing to describe the boundary of this region? In conclusion, I just want to say, in considering Babata and whatever comes in, let's also understand that it is a national park. And all activities that comes in, they have to be compatible in terms of the land uses that are already existing in that parcel of land. Thank you very much.
Place, Menja Sovira, somewhere in somewhere around the Babata Joy area, which was sent back to Western Caprivi by then. And I was seeing when these people were taken there, and that's when I came to know there was a place called Babata. And I don't want to tamper with the meaning of Babata because I don't have Babata in my language. So I want to request the brother to do the definition.
Cheto village in Babata National Park. To make it very short, Babata, it means a boiling water. It is after Cheto, it's 10 kilometers after Cheto. That's why it's fine.
Okay. My name is Mbula Ndaleti, National Executive Chairperson for Namibian Lives Matter Movement. Justice Unengu, Chairperson of the Commission and the team, you are duly recognized. Honorable Governor of the Zambezi region, retired Colonel Malfair Lawrence Sampufu, you are duly recognized. Our esteemed traditional authorities that are in front, the Gambelas, we stand in salutation to the unity shown in the history of this great region. The religious leaders who are present here, elders who have come, and young people to witness this historic occasion of the 5th Delimitation and Demarcation Commission in the Zambezi region. Fellow Namibians, good morning. The statement I'm about to make will highlight international implications for the lives of men and women who are Namibians residing in the Zambezi region. It will briefly highlight the international context. Simbula, David, in fact, you are my colleague. I lecture at UNAM, but I stand as part of community engagement, which UNAM subscribes to. Thank you. We will also highlight why the issue of Zambezi is unique. We are the only region in the country that shares boundaries with 4 countries. So when we delimit and demarcate boundaries, it has international implications, and it should speak to international instruments of the United Nations, the African Union, SADC, and the supreme law of this great country, the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, land rights are key human rights. They constitute the basis for access to food, housing, and development. And without access to land, many people find themselves in abject poverty. Access and rights over land are often stratified and based on hierarchy. We know that the apartheid brutal regime of apartheid South Africa dispossessed Namibians of their land. Last week I was at Robben Island. I had visited and heard the beautiful story of how our people fought to have this very land that is now taken at will. Access, redistribution, and guarantees of land rights are also critical as they can cause serious conflict. We know the war between Israel and Palestine is a reflection of how government systems has failed to address land conflicts. As Namibian Lives Matter movement, we are a social justice movement that is recognized in this country by State House, the Prime Minister, our 2 parliaments. We raised the issue of the border treaty between Namibia and Botswana that was signed by our president, late President Hage Geingob, with Botswana. And I'm bringing that here so that we understand the international implications. There are 3 steps that a country takes to ratify an international treaty. The first step is the 2 countries would agree on the boundaries, which Botswana and Namibia did. The second step is these countries ratify the treaties in their parliaments. Namibia and Botswana did that. The last part, they deposit instruments of these treaties together at the African Union. Botswana wanted to submit the instruments alone, but they were told they needed to jointly submit with Namibia. Namibia has not yet submitted the instruments. And it worries me that we are sitting here talking about boundaries of this region. That has a cloud hanging on its head because Kasikili has been taken, we know that already. Stumbo Island, which I visited myself with a German professor studying history. When you get into Stumbo Island, it shows you it is Botswana. About 21 islands from the Maye Traditional Authority now belong to Botswana. And these matters are serious and sensitive, and I think the Commission, as you apply your minds to issues that I'm going to mention, please remember, if we are not going to be treated fairly by this Commission, we shall resort to international remedies.
Yes.
It is common knowledge that Zambezi region is the only region in Namibia that has lost land to Botswana and Kavango, out of all the 14 regions. It is also common knowledge that Zambezi region is the only region in the whole country that has been reduced at every other delimitation commission. Please, this is not a tribal statement, it's a numeric statement I'm going to make. The second largest ethnic group in exile were Caprivians. And when I refer to Caprivians, I am referring to what happened in history. The second largest group of people who died in exile after Bambos were Caprivians. It is on the record. And they died to fight for the land, which is now taken away from their children, whose parents shed their bitter blood in Angola and Zambia and Tanzania. We will not allow that to continue. I think this is where this issue will stop. The UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People says, and I quote, "Indigenous people are equal to all other people. While recognizing the right of all people to be different, to consider themselves different, they should be respected as such." Why are the Zambezi residents not treated equal to any other person in the country, yet we are indigenous? Why is it that when land is taken away from us, when it's given to Kavango region, suddenly there is money available to develop Kavango region? The UN also says all people should contribute to the diversity and the richness of civilization and cultures, which constitute the common heritage of humankind. When Zambezi loses its ancestral land, which has been happening since 1992, then the residents of Zambezi are denied the common heritage of all Namibians. The UN also affirms further that all doctrines, I think Justice Unengu agrees with the language we are using, it is legal, all doctrines, policies and practices based on or advocating superiority of people or individuals on the basis of national origin, racial, religious, ethnic and cultural differences are racist, scientifically false, legally invalid, morally condemned, and socially unjust. This is what the UN says. The AU says, under the Border Agreement Treaty, which the founding fathers of Africa signed, including the likes of founding father Seunioma, the Nyereres, the Kaundas, Africans need to respect the existing colonial boundaries. This was signed by the founding fathers of Africa. Don't tamper with colonial boundaries, keep them as they are. I know in the country we speak of administrative justice, that you are dividing regions to make administration better. But the Queer community here have been deprived of services when you push them into Kavango, when they told you time immemorial they belonged to the Kapili Street. The last part of my presentation, the AU instrument on delimitation and demarcation says the exercise of delimitation and demarcation should achieve the following: 1, peace; 2, security; 3, economic progress; and 4, social progress. What Zambezi has seen through delimitation processes in this country is the loss of their ancestral land. Why is Namibia not consistent with what the AU says when it comes to the Zambezi region? AU border program, which I'm a part of. They consulted me and we gave a submission to them. Is meant to transform the borders into catalysts of peace, stability, growth, socio-economic and political integration. The Zambezi region is not being integrated properly with the rest of the region. It is these commissions that keep pushing it to make it separate. But yet we are standing here today that the necklace of when we stand up and speak justice, we are labeled criminals, will not continue. I therefore stand in solidarity with the Zambezi region, the Honorable Governor and the regional team on their submissions to say the following two things. One, return the ancestral boundary of Kapri district then, which you find in the archives in Denver, called Zambezi region now, to where it was before, which was Mukuvi. Number two, create a new constituency called Babata. The Kwe had spoken on the meaning. I'm a linguist by profession. The Kwe are the first inhabitants in Southern Africa, the entire Southern Africa. They don't have the numbers that Mbukushus have, but they belong to Babata and they should be respected. Their center, political office, should be at Cheto. Let them have their own council. Let them be represented, not just tribally, because they've been given the recognition to have a chief, but to represent the views that are particular to them. Finally, Martin Luther King Jr. said this in 1967. The demands of inner truth supersede unquestioning loyalty to government. We cannot be loyal to a government that takes land away from us.
For Namibia as a country that has denounced from the very beginning and never accepted apartheid as a legitimate political philosophy for governance, how would Namibia rid itself of the mentality of Bantustanization, which was a fundamental pillar of the apartheid philosophy?
Thank you, my learned colleague. I appreciate the level of engagement, which is academic. First of all, Zambezi region, unlike other regions, shares international boundaries. So the AU instruments apply to the Zambezi region, not to regions that don't share international boundaries. Yes. For example, when you look at the land between us and Botswana that has been taken, it has an effect on what we decide here. If Kasikili was still our place, we would have named a constituency Kasikili Island. So they apply to international and intra if the region under dispute shares international boundaries. Secondly, to answer your other good question, I think the problem with our government is selective morality. Selective morality. When a commission comes, there was a dispute between Kavango East and Kavango West. Because Kavango East couldn't push above 70 kilos going west, they came and pushed 100 kilos into Western Kapuligi. But nobody raised it. And when we want to correct things, then we are reminded that maybe we are going to the Bantustans. In fact, for the loss of better words, my prof, I think many delimitation commissions operated on organized chaos. What we are doing here is to restore the historical narratives of men and women who went to the fight for the liberation of this country, who are now back and are standing up, surprised that things are changing here and not anywhere else. So I hope I have satisfied your academic curiosity and research. Thank you so much.
His names are Lisa Sabuta and Induna at Kasheshe. Maskili tikapamamu wama mili.
Under the jurisdiction of Chief Mamiri.
Nibodela Spinda.
He's talking about Spinda.
Spinda unanisikia basisika na 17,126.
Spinda has a population of plus minus 17,000 residents.
Nilumani kukolwa kuli constituency haiko kutofika watu wafika 4.
It is believed that a constituency cannot accommodate such a population. It is believed that a total number of 5,000 people can constitute a constituency. Is asking that Spinda must be split into two. But Spinda itself up to Mpacha, the road leading to Kongola, the main highway. There is Spinda constituency that goes up to Makolonga to the village of Mr. Chombo along the Nyanti Road. Mpacha is a school. Kahulika is a school. Kasheshe is a school. There is an agriculture center at Kasheshe. Also has a clinic there. Bito is a school. Sachinga is a school as well. There is Kaenda school and a clinic as well. There is a Scooby, which is a school as well. There is a senior school named Sibinda Senior Secondary School. There is a clinic also there. There are two schools there, combined school and a secondary school. There is a police station there that is at Kongola. Then we move to this side of Nyanti. There is Makolonga. There is a school there. There is Masokotwani. Senior secondary school there. There is an agricultural center there. Then we go to Lusu. Lusu, there is a private school there. There is Malundu. There is a private school at Malundu. There is Kanono. There is a school at Kanono. There is the headquarters go to Chichimani, where our royal chief resides. There is a secondary school that there is also a combined school there and a clinic as well. That's what he's saying. There must be two demarcations on this area. Let's start at Mpacha. Up to him, up to all the understanding up to Masida, they must fall under Spinda. What I'm explaining is the Masida people must go up to the border with Masida there. From Mpacha going up to the border of Zambia. That must be Spinda constituency. Him, he had his livestock, they fall under Kongola constituency. When he goes where he resides, they say you did not vote for me, but you must go to the people where your vote had been counted. That is Spinda constituency. Let me come back to what my fellow citizens are talking about concerning what is happening in this region. We've got these smartphones. You must Google on your phones. Google and then you can find, see whether you can find Zambezi. It's not there. Why? The reason is you did not change the services, because to change services you need to talk about $2 billion. You change the privy, you change Suma's bed, we change the Mpacha base, Green over Togo Barracks. You change the Pacha airport and put it at the Katimambo airport. All those things you are not paying for. And if you are paid, I need to prove to say these things you are paid for in order for them to be changed. I need to show, I need to prove today. My honorable commissioners, I'm wearing a safari suit here. If I put a patch here, it is not the same suit. He's talking about yesterday. Talking about yesterday. The vacations are about Katima territory. Why are they not respected and honored? But the other demarcations of other regions are being honored and respected. I believe and understand that if there is a child whose umbilical cord was cut into in Kaprivi, who is doing these things, may the Almighty God forgive me. Because our grandchildren who are coming behind, they will not find the proper history. We are not fighting anyone, we are discussing. Whoever is saying about Zambezi or discussing about Zambezi, he needs that person to give you the history about Zambezi. You who are dancing to the tune of Zambezi, please. I beg you to give me the history of Zambezi from the start to where we are today. Is there anyone here who does not have a name, either British, Germany, Finnish, and the like? Among us are seated here. When we take our offices where we are, look at the people who are working for you to be important more than the offices that you are sitting in. When there's a toddler who's coming to you, listen to that toddler. Because that child might have been saved by the angel of God. Come and give you a message that might even save you. When you are comfortable in those rolling and moving chairs in our offices, we will not go anywhere. People will be insulting and cursing us from outside. Because now we are protected. People will be throwing ash and the soil on you. I'm lost. Those ones who know the... Sorry.
Sorry, Honorable Induna.
Thank you.
I want, peace to remain there in the moment. I like the audience. The audience, I thank you very much for, listening to us and being seated in peace. But you see, I'm going to give you an example of something. So, political parties, when they come here and campaign and do whatever the case may be, asking you to vote for them. These are things, you are supposed to tell them. But us, we are just a commission, a commission which is tasked to come to you people. You have to tell us. You must give us the information so that we can go and either change your boundaries, the regional boundaries, or constituency boundaries. We are not going to give you an answer now, but if you give us information, evidence, so this constituency must, the boundary must be changed from here up to there, and that one the same. So that we can go and recommend changes. Really, fellow Namibians, it will not help us to help you if this is the information you are giving us. Political statements and other things. We are not in a position to do so. Some of us You know, some of us. I'm a jurist. You see, I'm not a politician. And I'm with you. Even if you not feel with you, I'm not going to help you. Tell us about the boundaries. What do you want us to do to the boundaries of your constituencies as they do now? And that is what we want you to tell us about. Thank you.
From yesterday, we had people deliberated about on issues. It
100%
was 100%. We are talking about the name of the premise.
terms of reference. Terms of reference. Usually, and staff manakala wone ene bakora bogaba na faza nene basukuru bila ma commissioner bene batire ne baso nyukuli barubulere kuli commissioner ya pili na bakire batowe na assess twana bakire to assess twana hakuna seni mutire pale ni tumezi o commissioner nene.
It concerns, as of yesterday and up to the day, is in terms of reference on how the name of the was changed. Because even when the honorable governor was deliberating yesterday, he talked about the first commission, the Delimitation Commission, but he never talked about the terms of references, even up to this current commission that is deliberated today. I thank you. If there's a question, I think he is about to step down.
Thank you very much, Now, thank you for your submissions. I heard you spoke about the speaker constituency, but I didn't get it clearly when they become two. How do we know them? One would remain speaker and the other one would become one.
Litumezi godogota fani bizolelelimi nediswe kuno plama mbunu ahene babolera baba mwene luto ababolera kuno bakapire as mass constituency fani ya kala makolonga mani tibu ochomo kulikadi as mass constituency.
It is because of other people yesterday heard rumors about the names massive constituency. That's why I came up with such direction.
I'm Dominic Luneke. I'm from Kongola constituency. Then is about the Babata, the borders. What I'm saying is the borders have been shifted from colonial time up there, and they became west after independence. They moved from Muruwani. From Muruwani it came to Mashari. From Mashari it came next to Divunu, that farm. From there it came to the river. From the river it came living in somewhere there in Itoto. From there, Kongola, then it went back there. And to my knowledge, have not seen any constituency or regions in Namibia where borders have shifted. Those internal borders, I have not seen them shifted. Since they were put there in 1990, they are still there up to today. It's only now the biggest problem is Caprivi is being pushed two times. From the west, it is pushed to this side. From east and south, it is pushed by Botswana. So you will find at the end of the day, all the people who live from the east and the south, they are all going to come to Katima Mulilo. As they will be pushed, and we all come to Katima Mulilo, and we are going to leave our ancestors' land. Me, I was born in Western Caprivi. They were pushed there. I'm also a Mukushu. My father is a Mukushu. My mother is a Mafi. And they, the people who stayed there never belonged to Kavango. If they belonged to Kavango, my mother would have told me before you went and rested. They went part and parcel of Kaprivi administration. We were not part there. So it was two communities living there. It was us, the Bukushus, and the Sami people. As time went, something happens, I don't know. I was born there as a baby. People, they started moving. Others came to what is called the other side of the river today here. Others, they went to Kusana, others went to Angola, others went to Kavango. And that place was only left to what? To the Sami people. But even, that is my great father's land. As you bring the Kavangos, even the history that the local court is using, they interviewed one of my grandfathers. He's the one who gave them the whole detail of what they are using now today. What they are using now today, that land belongs to them. They don't have a clue. Now the thing is, yes, the thing is, when we, so this is very sensitive.
Mr. Ndege,
Sorry.
Mr. Ndege,
Yes.
if you listen to the intervention of my colleague here,
Yes.
maybe you would, in piece of advice, you have to talk on behalf of other people. Is this a collective suggestion you are presenting, or is it yourself?
It's a collective, it's a thing which affects all of us.
Because we heard from yesterday from others, we don't talk about Babata. This is not what they told us.
Yes. Me, I was born there. And my parents lived there.
You are not answering my question, Mr.
Yes.
Ndege.
I'm
The others were here, they gave us very good presentation about Babata. Okay. Now we do not know now. You are confusing that. You are talking about apparently is it Babata which straight from Rami up to Mashare and then Undu and up to Teto. Is it that? Are you saying that?
what I'm saying is how the regional borders have been moving.
With boundaries.
Yeah, the regional boundary. The first day it was there, it is called Muruwani. It is a lost name, Muruwani. When you go into the books of history, then it moved up to independence. That regional border was at Mashari.
Which region you are talking about? Please,
Yes, I'm talking about where how the border has moved and affected the Babata today. That is how it has moved and it has affected Babata today.
Oh.
Yes, from the start how it went up today, that now we are having a crisis. Yes.
Especially if that is a historical fact. Well, what do you want the commission to do? To take the border to Muruwani or?
No, I'm not saying it should go back to Muruwani. I'm just saying how it has moved. How it has gone each step up to where it is today. Because everything starts from somewhere. Then it moves